Hello, and welcome to Weekly Shonen Recap. This week, we're covering Black Clover, Chainsaw Man, and Dr.
Doc,
Stone.
yeah, Dr. Stone. That's it.
Yeah, it took me a second to remember because we actually had kind of an error last week. We mentioned that,
We didn't have an error. It was right after the chapters came out and we did the recording for the review. They announced that due to the whole the way that Shonen Jump's switching everything up to deal with the pandemic, they're all going completely to digital, and My Hero Academia is still drawn analog. So he needed
is that one?
he needed an additional week to switch over.
Mm.
Because they're not going to take paper because they don't want to get sick. They don't want to get anybody to get sick.
Hmm.
So they're just eliminating that completely. But
I just noticed that
amazed
today.
that was still a series that was drawn on paper.
It is cool. It's like it has
I
that
thought
feeling.
One Piece still was, but apparently it's not because it didn't have that problem.
Mm. Yeah, he just went with it. So I guess he's been on digital for. Well, I don't know. Do you think he just made the switch to digital because of this thing, or do you think
It's probably more convenient in general.
Yeah. I know the guy that does Berserk, Moria,
Yeah.
he got into digital and he's like, I missed the paper.
That's what's his name? The guy who does Vagabond did the same thing. He paints all of his.
Yeah.
And he tried to do digital, and he said it like crushed his spirit, so he won't do it ever.
And we haven't gotten a new chapter in 4 years.
Yeah, he keeps drawing murals for basketball teams, but he's still a cool guy, so I'll wait.
I mean, the series is fantastic, but it's like, oh God, we haven't gotten a chapter in 4 years. Please, puts Hunter x Hunter to shame.
And what I'll say about at least now, since Murata is drawing Duranki on top of it, it's helped his mood. So we're getting more consistent chapters with Berserk, even if people want to complain that that's his new favorite child, which it totally is. But
it even has children in it. Besides, like,
yeah, but it's a happy-go-lucky series, and that's all he needs to like balance out his mood from dark, depressing Berserk.
Well, I do wonder if Berserk will get better. Like, not better, I just mean, like, if Berserk won't be as hard, because that dreamscape sequence of, like, 5 or 6 chapters was intense. But it seems like we're kind of chilling out at this point.
A little bit. I still don't expect it to chill out fully. Because we're in the middle of Ragnarok.
Yeah, it's Berserk, so it's never going to be full chill. But it seems like it's not, like, big gorilla monsters and like sky demons.
But we should at least stay on to Shonen. We're already going to the tangents.
we had to go a little sideways.
We've yet to even start. We're on the tangents. Okay, so I guess we'll start off with Black Clover 256. And, oh my God, I love this chapter.
It was so cool.
Like, I'm still not wrong. Chainsaw Man was my most hyped chapter. But I was right. This is the second one.
Yeah. Though there was something you were right in Dr. Stone, and I thought that was cool. But we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into that later on because you were right about something in Chainsaw Man.
I can't even remember what I said.
We'll get there when we get there. But okay. Starting off with, of course, like everybody thought, Dante just reformed. And we figure out...
Yeah, his body magic.
Which, yeah, that made sense. Because he was doing all that weird flesh stuff beforehand, so everybody thought he was coming back together. But we kind of figure out the whole impact of that is he's actually immortal.
Yeah,
like,
he can't
slice his throat, blow away his chest, and all his... Every organ that is necessary for life was gone. And he's just like, yeah, I don't care. My favorite part is, like, he admits Yami's better than him. Yami's way stronger than him, has more technical skill, he had better magic. It's literally because his type of magic with the devil power is so unfair and unbalanced that all he had to do with, we should probably mention, we were right that Yami took pretty significant damage. It looks like his ears burned off, like horrifically.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
it was
saw
like
that they actually
deformed.
showed his head,
Yeah, and
and
his
yeah,
ear
his
is
ear
like
looks.
deformed, and then he's got like this whole like cut burn thing across this side of his body.
Mm, yeah, he's pretty roughed up for the damage he took. He's not that bad, but he's still pretty roughed up
But we did
considering.
like 5 more death thrusts. I was not expecting to get that in freaking rapid succession. But yeah, he just constantly, he's like, this isn't working. And then it's like all this massive damage Yami's dishing out. He would have killed him like 12 times over if
Mhm.
he couldn't reform from every bit of damage.
Oh, speaking of him reforming, he turns into a big monster, grotesque thing.
Yeah,
It's
like
like he
literally, what did Yabi call him? He literally goes, "Oh, this man's just giant and gross now," and then cracks
yeah,
his neck.
yeah. He's like he's big and gross and he's invincible
And then,
or
Yami is
immortal.
still not panicking. I'm still amazed.
What
Like
who'd you say?
Yami is still not panicking at all.
Oh yeah, he doesn't even look phased. Just like, oh, this is annoying.
He's like, "It's annoying. I can't deal with this."
It's like
Like,
he literally
it's
can't
not
beat
that
him
he doesn't
on his
have
own.
the skill or the technique. It's
Mhm.
literally this magic is not capable of being dealt with magic.
I do wonder, like, he didn't. Have we seen his head get destroyed though? Because he destroyed his organs, but he. I feel like if your brain dies, you would get kind of
It seems
hosed.
not to matter because it's like no matter what the major organ is, he'll just reform it.
Hmm.
Like think of it like a Deadpool kind of thing. Like if there's still a drop of blood, he'll come back.
Oh, okay. That kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah, that's what it's. That's basically how he described it. So, but I do love that. This is something I do. I know we harp on Bleach a lot. But I always
Oh
found
boy.
this interesting. We never would have believed something like Kenpachi can't. Like,
Mhm.
Kenpachi's not physically strong enough not to. And we don't believe that about Yami. But something
Mhm.
like this makes perfect sense on why Yami cannot beat him.
Because the guy he just reforms. He
Yeah.
can't
And
be
then,
beaten at least with Yami's powers. He can't.
and Asta, he's seeing this and he's like, Yami's trying so hard. Yami is strong enough to beat this, but he
Mhm.
can't, and I can't get up. And then Yami finally turns and he's like, "Hey, Asta, get over here. I need your help for this." Which then we get all these panels up in the top where it's just talking about all the times where he's asked Asta to watch.
Mhm.
This is the first time he's ever asked Asta for help. Not
Ah,
because
that shit
Yami
was-
can't, but because he needs Asta. They're on equal footing now, which was
Which that
such a
was
great
such a
moment.
good moment.
Yeah.
God, I love this series.
But it's such. I wish they'd done this more in a couple of other battle series. It's like I'm not gonna believe that Yami's too weak, and then they like completely admit Yami's not too weak. It's literally this matchup is completely against somebody who it does not have anti magic.
I mean, there's nothing he can blow him up, but he'll just come back. So it's like he's just
Yeah, it's like if you don't have some kind of like imprisonment style magic, or you don't have anti magic, you're not beating him. He'll because he can't do a lot of damage to Yami. We've seen Yami's too fast and he's too strong, but he can slowly get small nicks and in constantly. And we were just seeing that. Like Yami was getting coated with like little cuts all over his body. And Yami's dealing out massive damage, but he can't let none of it'll stick because he needs anti magic.
What's interesting too is he doesn't even seem. Another thing is Yami doesn't seem tired. You would think he would be after blasting this guy so many times, but he doesn't even seem that tired.
We've never seen Yami actually have a problem with anything unless it was literally Mereoleona. Or pooping. He has a huge problem pooping, but I don't know.
Pushed him back in.
Made it go back in.
Oh, I love the comedy in this series. It's ridiculous. But this chapter it's another battle chapter. I mean,
It was only
We
15 pages long, I think.
yeah, it was 15 pages, and I was like, it ended at a great spot, but it's
Yeah,
like
I didn't
I
have a
wish
problem
it.
with it being that short. It was great. I really didn't want anything else this week.
Mhm.
It's like if you would have tacked on something with over with Vanessa, or you would have tapped into anywhere else in the kingdoms,
Mhm.
I honestly probably would have been a little sad.
Yeah, it's like it takes away from that moment to just kind of cut away
Yeah,
at
because
it.
this was like Asta's shining moment to be on equal footing with Yami. I wouldn't have
Mm.
wanted them to cut away to somebody else. Like
Yeah,
we had
it's like
room to, but I would rather you don't take it.
mhm. This chapter just ended. It's like they're standing side by side. They're getting ready to do this.
Yeah,
It
it's
was a
like
great.
Yami's not too weak. It's not like a whole Kakashi thing where Kakashi is completely overstriped by Naruto almost immediately into the time skip. Like
Yeah.
I think it's like one arc, and he's like immediately admitting, "Oh, I'm too weak for them."
Mm.
Now he manages to stay like right behind them for the rest of it, but he stays behind. Yami is still stronger than Asta. Like that
Which
isn't something that's changed. It's now there are things he needs Asta for.
which I think that might be a thing with this series more than like. I mean, we have big, powerful characters like Marileona, Fuegoleon, uh, Yuno to some extent, but
Yeah,
it's
they
like,
need a debuff tank. They don't need more DPS. Is basically what they've been saying.
yeah, it's like they help each other more than like, okay, I'm the Ichigo of this group. It's like they
Yeah,
need
we
each
don't need
other's help
somebody
to
to
do
come in
things.
and just do the one hit. They need somebody to work in tandem with them. And it's not like as much as I actually do like Fairy Tail, it's not like this Unison raid where it's like, oh, it's a symbolic us working together. It's do
Mhm.
actually have to work together.
Oh, and I wanted to mention, I didn't mean to harp on Bleach again, but like I didn't
I
want to
did.
do
I
Naruto.
did.
When I mentioned Ichigo a second ago, I meant it more like I didn't want to say Naruto again.
Ichigo is
So I was like,
literally the powerhouse of that. For whatever reason, they're just like he hit hard.
mhm. It's
He's
like
not going to learn
besides,
anything else. He gets one move and one type of power up.
which I still think that would have been a better ending to give him that. It's like he lives in the human world anyway, so why didn't you just let him do Final Getsuga Tensho and be done with it?
I
Like
don't
at
know.
that point, wouldn't it be even
He still knew
stronger?
how to do it too. It's like you can't tell me he didn't know how to do it.
It's not like he forgot, unless they did. Oh, do you think? I know we're getting off topic again, but do you think that the whole thing with the Fullbringers, when they erased his memory, do you think he would have used that as an excuse to why he can't do it anymore? It's like, oh, they took this memory too.
I think he was going to use the fact that Yuha could always just rewind it and keep the fact that he doesn't have that. But they had that dude like keeping up with the Fullbrings. They have what's his name? The guy with the book of the end.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I can't remember his name. It's really hard to say for me, whatever reason.
I can't remember what it is either.
Shakagawara or something.
Oh, Seki. Is it not Sekigahara? That's a battle.
Yeah, but it's
Uh,
like Shakagawara or something.
yeah.
But
It's got an interesting name.
he literally used that power to fix his Bankai, which that brought up all kinds of different problems with the
Oh,
whole
you talking about the
Fullbring
guy
arc.
that stabbed him with the
Yeah,
sword?
yeah, with
Tsukishima.
the guy who used it to fix his thing, he has to like stab and change the memory.
Yeah, Tsukishima.
Shukashima? Okay.
Yeah. I was watching the Tekking video and he did a thing on him.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, that's how I knew his name because I just saw his video. I was like, oh, okay, that's that
That
guy's
always
name.
like that bothered me from the first time he ever did that. Like he stabbed him and he was like, "Oh, I fixed your Bankai." It's like, isn't this the whole reason you had to teach him how to use the full bring to unlock a Bankai to steal his power in the first place? It seems like you took a lot of unnecessary steps whenever you could have been like, "Hey, we know a guy who can get you your Bankai. Get him his Bankai and steal it." Instead, we're going to teach you a new power.
Can you imagine if they had used that as an excuse to get the full bringers to use their full brings at the end? Just like forget Bonkais for the final battle. Just like we're doing full brings because I like the outfits.
Here's the thing, though. It's like you can't use the fact that I'm going to rewind time and you can't. I'm going to keep it so you can't, because he literally can also place the bookmarks within somebody's time period that he stabbed.
Mm-hmm.
So he could be like, well, you might have rewound his time, but I rewound the rewinding, so he didn't get rewound. Well, I rewound the rewinding.
It's just going to giant. So I would watch that. Just 20 minutes of them saying that over and over again would be
You
the
could have
funniest
even,
thing.
let's say that Final Gets a Gattensho wouldn't work.
Mm-hmm.
You could literally just make a new version of that.
I mean, like, I'm not hung up on it.
You
It
could
just
have
seems like
literally. Here's the dumb thing. You could have taken the Deus Ex Machina arrow and put it on the tip of the freaking Muketsu, and then used
wait.
Final Gets a Gattensho.
Why didn't they do that? Why didn't they do that?
Because this is a better idea.
Like, I don't. They shot him with the arrow, and then he had like 0.5 seconds, which is ridiculous, to go up to Yuha and kill him in one hit, which also didn't kill him in one hit. If we remember that, that was kind of weird. But he gets him with the arrow. Like, Uryu shoots him with the arrow. I guess they wanted Uryu to do something. There's a whole fight with the other guy. I can't remember his name.
Just make the rival relevant. But it's still, we shouldn't harp on Bleach. We always harp on Bleach. Moving on to Chainsaw Man.
Okay, yeah.
Otherwise, we'll be here for 10 hours just complaining about Bleach.
We've done it before. We'll do it again. That'll be a Christmas special. We'll just sit here for 10 hours.
Us sitting here, a Yule log of us complaining about freaking Bleach with a fireplace in the background.
Oh my gosh, it'd be so fun. Okay, but yeah, let's get on to Chainsaw Man. So, this chapter was a punch in the gut.
In multiple aspects, I didn't expect a bunch of this. I cannot believe you called the fact about Aki being a devil man. I don't know if we recorded that, but you called the fact that Aki was going to become the gun devil man.
I felt it. I was like, he's totally going to get absorbed or something.
I thought that something like that might happen, like he might bond with the future devil and become the future devil man or something like that. But I did not expect it to happen immediately. I thought he'd get away from Makino first.
I know. I was surprised. Like when Denji answers the phone, and then it's like, "Oh, we beat the gun devil," but he absorbed one of the corpses.
They couldn't beat it. They got defeated. That's what she calls and says. She said, the gun devil came back as a devil man because he came to Japan, and we were defeated, and now he's back as a devil man."
Yeah, he took a corpse from our battle, which coincidentally, by just sheer luck, is totally just Aki.
Yeah, and let's get to that whole point of because of what Pochina said, Denji did not want to open the door. He was taking every excuse not to open the door. But then Power gets up and why aren't you opening the door? The doorbell's ringing. It's like, oh, the phone's ringing too. And then it starts the whole conversation with Makino. Then he turns and tells Power, there's a well, it's not even a devil man, it's a fiend. It's the gun fiend is at the door.
Oh yeah.
No, you have to be kidding, but it's obviously. And then he's like, just listen to me on this, don't open the door. And she's like, no, it's Aki, and opens the door, nobody's there.
Mm-hmm.
And
I did wonder about that. What was that?
She was looking around for because they were going out in the hallway and they needed to go out to the outer door.
Oh, okay. So they heard the knock.
Smell Aki, so just kept thinking that Denji was lying, and then Denji's like, "Please, can you just take Meowie and go outside, go through the balcony?" And she's like, "Okay, Meowie, let's go for a walk out the balcony for whatever reason," and just jumps off because just trust Denji. And Denji's walking up to the door and it's like, Makino had to be kidding, joking. There's no way that there's a gun fiend, right, Aki? Because he can smell it too. Because everybody forgets. He has overwhelming senses like a devil. And then he opens the door, and then there's just a pistol head pointing at his face.
And we see that great full-page spread of just Aki fused with the gun devil.
And it's cool.
It's terrifying.
Yeah. And then we get to see, weirdly, we've never seen this before. We get to see Aki's perspective as the corpse. Which is, he thinks he's a child. And he sees Denji, and he's like, "Oh, it's Denji." And he's this is in the middle of I think it's in Hokkaido. But
Yeah,
he
I
just
think so.
reaches down and he starts making a snowball and he
Yeah.
throws it at Denji. And then we get a freaking just a eraser taken across the center of the pages of this giant explosion. And right through the centers, there's this eraser to be the bullet. And then
Mhm.
Denji just lands on the ground in two pieces. And then Power looks up and is like, "What happened to the apartment?"
Oh
Because
my
it's
god.
going so fast. She can't
Mhm.
keep up with it. It's just amazingly quick. And it's like, um, uh, Denji says the gun fiend was there. She's like, "You have to be kidding, Denji, because that was Aki."
That was
And
his
then
scent.
"Don't lie to me right now," because he's still trying to he's trying to refuse it still because he got told by Makino to not think and just fight.
Hmm. Yes, they don't think during this fight, which I think is going to lead to him killing Power by accident. Because then Aki, when he was talking to the future devil,
Yeah,
found out that Denji was going to kill both him and
which is gonna
Power.
be right now. Yeah, but
And
I
oh god, I don't want
it's
that.
gonna be weird because I don't see Power being dead.
I mean, it's Power. She's it's one of our
It's
main
hard to
characters.
kill
She's not
fiends.
dead.
Yeah, it's well, you say that Aki's dead.
Well, yeah,
We've killed
true.
every other major character in the series.
We can't kill Power though. Come on,
I don't expect
please.
Power. I think Power is going to be the one who lives because its fiends are incredibly hard to kill.
Hmm.
Right. They can revive from a broken neck. They can revive from missing brain matter. It's got to be something very, very traumatic to the entire body.
You'd probably just have to like crush them because like
We've seen
even
crushing. We've seen like removing huge swaths of them.
well, I just mean like turn them into paste because I
Yeah.
know like Rize, she tore him in half and then blew him up like 4 times in a row, so he was just like a charred body,
Yeah.
and he
It's like
even
it
came
take.
back from that.
Well, that was for Denji, not Power. Power's a fiend.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Genji's special. I
Yeah,
I
if you're
wish
a
they'd go
devil, you're
more.
basically immortal. That's the reason they can take Quan Chi's head and just be like, "We can revive this later."
Mm,
Like they knew they weren't killing her. They were just this is a way of imprisoning her.
which I am interested to see what kind of crazy experiments they'll do with that.
Yeah, that's gonna be weird, especially since Makino still has that. But this still lends into because she knew that the gun fiend was at the door, knew exactly
Mm.
where it was going. You could
She
say this
sent
is
it
because of
there.
Aki, but you could say it's because of Aki. You could say it's because she sent it there, but she could have also known because Meow.
I, I did see a thing. I saw a thing on Reddit. I I feel bad that I don't pay attention to who posts these things, but I was on the Chainsaw Man subreddit and somebody mentioned maybe that's how she knew because there's a panel when Power's going out to the balcony where
Yeah,
you see Meowie looking at Denji,
that's
keeping
why
an
I
eye
said there
on
keeps being like weird things where Meowie's acting out of character. They brought it up.
him.
Like Meowie is acting strange.
Hmm. And we know that Machina can control
Yeah,
lesser
he can borrow
animals.
the eyes and other senses of lesser animals. Nothing
Mm.
that has high intelligence. So what we don't know the exact limitation on that. Like, can she not use dolphins?
Dolphins would be terrible. Dolphins are creepy little monsters.
But
This-
it's just
it-
everything about this one was so good, and the way it
and
ends
then,
too, where he has literally he's half a body,
mm,
and Powers like what are you talking about? It's Aki. Then he just jumps, and then
yeah, he
he's the
jumps straight
Chainsaw Man,
out.
and he's he turns into the Chainsaw Man. He has one arm shoved into Aki's face, which is a gun, and then Aki has another one that's an assault rifle pointed at Power's face, and then Denji's got the other one wrapped around her, and it's on his throat, and his head
Mm,
is like touching the tip of the gun on his head.
mm. So that'll be crazy to see how that goes
Yeah, I
next
want to
week.
see how this fight's about to go because this is gonna be insane.
Oh man, I'm not ready for this. I was not ready for this chapter.
Like, Chainsaw Man has been an unlimited hype machine since inception, but it is so good at the moment.
It's like I don't honestly. We say at the moment. I don't think there's ever been a point where it's been bad. Like honestly,
It's never been bad, but every time it's like a puke chapter, I'm like, I was not looking forward to this.
I know. I was thinking about that earlier. It's like we were talking about recommending it like a few weeks ago, and I'm like, we should have mentioned the puke thing. We didn't mention the puke thing in our
Right.
recommend.
It took me so long trying to recommend it to you because I was like, I have to dance around the fact that this exists.
That is one of the few things I've seen in manga where I'm like, I kind of felt sick reading that
It's
for a
so
second.
detailed. He
It's
put
so
so much
gross.
detail into the puke.
It's like that's all it is. It's like I mean, people puke a lot, but like he actually ate it straight like a baby bird. It was gross.
Oh my god, it's like a horror manga. Every time he does it, it's like disgusting.
Oh, this chapter was 19 pages, but we went through the events pretty quick because a lot of it he
Yeah,
does.
well, generally,
Fujimoto
Shonen
is
Jump
really
tries to
good.
hit like a medium of like 20 pages, so this isn't really short by any
No,
means.
it's just the way we describe it because a lot of it is like it's a lot of kind of silent panels, like the whole thing with
Yeah, the big thing with him is like it's very cinematography kind of thing. It's like he knows how to make the panel. You can
Mhm,
hear it, you can see it, you know what's happening.
mhm.
It's
It's
framed perfectly. Like you can hear that gunshot that's ripping through the building whenever you see that.
mhm.
That or like this, like the tension inside the hallway whenever
Mhm.
Denji's walking down it, because he
Oh, that
shows it
was
in like
crazy.
6 panels. It's like you feel that tension.
Mhm. Like
But
that
oh,
hallway looks crazy long, and then when you open the door and it's like a double spread, like I said, of it. Aki, I did not expect Aki to come right. I thought they would say like I thought the way it's going to go is we would get the end of the Gun Devil fight, right?
yeah,
Or the last chapter, like one of the last bits was them attacking the Gun Devil with that Halo attack of all the abilities, and then this
yeah.
chapter.
I am so surprised that didn't work even like remotely.
But I do wonder. I mean, she was connected to Aki, right? Like
Yeah, she
directly.
asked for his everything, so she is absolutely like 100% with him, and she had that chain that was going through them
Mhm.
connected back to her.
And then I have to wonder because like with that, it's like we saw that, and then all we hear about it, he before Genji opens the door, we go to the phone, and Makina says they lost,
Yeah,
and which surprised me because that attack looked pretty crazy. We didn't even see the
that
outcome of that.
yeah, that fight had just started, and it had been going on for 5 seconds,
Mm.
and it's
But
already
then,
over. Aki's already taken, and he's already there.
well, actually, I think it was daytime when they're fighting, and I think it's nighttime. No, it's still daytime.
It's daytime. It's early in the morning. They just woke up.
Oh, because they just had an early morning mission, I
They
think.
weren't even on an early morning mission, really. This was over. She's on an island on vacation. On vacation, she knew the gun devil was coming. She knew it was going to be there.
So why did she leave Denji and Power out of it if they were part of the team? Do you think?
I think because she's using the chainsaw for something. She needs it for something.
Mhm. And she knew that he might die
And Power's
if
just a pawn she does not care too much about. Useful, but not anything she has any sentimentality about. She doesn't have that level of emotion we've seen.
well, I just thought it was kind of weird because they make the whole thing about like I'm forcing them to be on this team and you join Aki or like you can leave but they'll still be on the team and then they go to the fight without them. So I thought that was kind of odd. It's like why go through all that trouble to make sure they're on the team and then not
But
have
then
them in the fight?
I think she forced this fight too
Mm,
because she didn't care whether Aki was part of it because she knew she could force him into it.
yeah.
But these two, she can actually, with just political authority, she doesn't have to use any of her contracts. She can just force them to do it. They have no
Mm,
choice because they'll die otherwise.
yeah. But yeah, the whole thing with the phone is like we hear that the battle ended and
Mm-hmm.
there's corpse. We don't know who died except for they said one corpse or They said that the
Yeah,
gun
it
devil
had taken
connected to
a
a
corpse
corpse,
and became a fiend.
which I'm pretty sure Aki was dead by the point he even got chained because he
He
gave him
might have been.
everything. I don't know how that.
We're not sure about anything that happened with Makino. That's the weird part with this.
Yeah. And then with that, it's like we get that. We get the little thing attached to the corpse, and then she tells him not to think, which means that. And then that's why I brought up the whole thing of being connected to her or asked about that because it's like she sent him there, no doubt. Like,
Oh, I think that a lot of it has to do with that. It's like,
because with, I was just saying, with Aki's visions, he's back in his, when he was a little boy, going out to play in the snow with his little brother. It's that same kind of setting. Like, he even
yeah,
asked, like, what am I doing here? And then he sees an apparition of Denji in front of him. And he's like, oh, it must be a snowball fight. And boom, he throws a snowball and it turns into the gun thing. So he doesn't know what he's doing,
and this puts
but he
everything
showed up there.
Makino wanted all together because the Gun Devil is one of the only things she was worried about. It's
Mm-hmm.
also something she wanted. She wants Denji.
Mm-hmm.
This is everything she wants all at once in the exact way that it'll help her. A gun. The weird part is we know that a devil is weaker whenever it becomes a fiend.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why the Gun Devil would willingly become a fiend.
Maybe I don't think we're getting the whole story with that because to have
It
that,
feels like we're about to get a second half at some point. Not soon, but after this fight, I feel like we're going to cut to a second half.
because like they built up the Gun Devil for 63 chapters where like he's introduced in chapter 13 as a concept and then he shows up in chapter I think 75, 76, so about like 63 chapters worth.
This is 77, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like he shows up, wrecks everybody at 20% power, and then we get that awesome halo attack and it just ends. And then we hear that that they lost. There was one corpse according to her, or she only mentioned one, so who knows what happened to all the
She
others.
just said it took a corpse.
Yeah, which so who knows what happens to everybody or what happened to everybody else. But she seemed okay. Or
Yeah,
I
but
think we
also
saw.
she's a devil, so it's going to be weird. Or
Yeah,
maybe even a devil man. We're not sure.
but yeah, it does make me wonder though. Like you said, it's like if he at 20% power is enough to beat them, why would he make himself weaker? Like, what reason does he have?
I'm very confused about all of it, to be honest.
It's like I can't think of anything.
That's why for the next few chapters, besides like maybe like some small fight choreography, I don't think I can predict anything.
I mean, we tried hard last time. We were like, oh, because we had no idea they just cut the battle out at the moment. So like, I didn't expect Aki to just
Like
show
this
up at the
wasn't
door.
this wasn't even on our radar, which is why it was so smart. Because like we think we know what's going on because we're the reader. We think that we have more information than the main character, and that tricked us so well.
Yeah. Which also that means that battle. I mean, it was like 5 seconds, but still, that means that battle ended long enough ago for
It could
him
get
to
over here.
win. Yeah. And also, I wonder how it did. I mean, it's a giant monster with a gun on its head. How did he get over there?
Well, we saw how fast it moves.
So you think it just like Hulk jumped its way through the city, maybe?
To
I
be
don't mean
honest,
that.
it could probably use like the guns as legs to just fire itself forward.
Well, I do wonder because like it does have. I don't know if it's part of the summoning or not, but after I guess since it's 1997, it would be Papa Bush. I think I can't remember who was president in 1997.
That's Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton. Okay, it was Bill Clinton. I can't remember, but we got Bill Clinton contracting the
Is
Gun
this
Devil.
1997? I've never looked at what year this is supposed to be in.
It's not. Yeah, I was surprised too because they said the first attack happened in 83 or 84, and then when the Gun Devil attacks, when Clinton, I guess they don't show him, but like since they showed the time, but when the Gun Devil shows up and kills the uh, first few people in that church,
Yeah.
it says 1997, so that must mean that it's 1997, I guess. I looked it up too, and that's what everybody says. It's just like from all we can figure, it's just a story that's earlier in time than we thought it
Yeah,
would be.
it's which to be fair, we ruled it out because we never had a question about the time, but this it also there's no problem with it being that time.
It's not like an issue; it's just a detail at this
Yeah, and
point.
it makes it more intriguing because honestly, that opens up to a lot of time jumping forward.
It's like we're in 2020 now, so it's like that's 23 years worth of time jump if they wanted.
Yeah.
Actually, I mean, it's a
And
story, so
really,
they could go
look,
to
based off of
whatever.
what we've seen, if you're a devil or a fiend or a devil man, you're not aging. Most of that's most of our main characters now. They can skip over that, and everyone will look decently the same. Maybe a few character revisions to make them easier to draw or make them more fun to draw. But there's no real issue. I mean, Kishibe would be gone, but other than that, we don't lose another character that's had a major part with this.
But I do think we'd have to keep Kishibe because it's like
Or kill
he's
him.
built up too much. I mean,
You'd have to kill him with like Makino in a very cool, gruesome way for it to like for us to feel comfortable like jumping forward that much. I feel like he has to get an ending, and it's not going to be a happy ending.
oh, it's not.
Like,
I mean, I feel like he's so. We have those characters in a lot of series where it's like, okay, I'm strong enough to know what's going on, you know, and then they fight the bad guy, and it's like, oh, I did not expect this, and then they just get destroyed, kind of
Jiraiya.
thing. Oh, poor Jiraiya, man. Well, I don't think he knew about the clones, or not the clones, the different paths. So he thought it'd be a one-on-one fight, and he ended up fighting like what, 6 people at once.
Yeah,
But it's like with Kishibe, it's like he can back it up. I feel like we haven't seen him do anything.
we did
but
see that he's weaker now. Like Quan Chi said it, he said it. He is, although he's technically still called the strongest devil hunter, he is third rate according to his own talking and Quan Chi. They're like, you are nowhere near close enough to what you were.
But I do wonder because like I feel like they're building up to something with him, because when he fought Quan Chi's fiends, we
Yeah.
never saw it. Like he captured 2 of them because of the deal. I mean, he was trying to capture them because of the deal, and then the 2 other ones got away. So we never saw him fight, and then he was using fists against Quan Chi, which is a bad idea. So it's like we never seen him
There's no
use his
good
ability.
idea against her, let's be honest.
That Squid guy did put some work in, though. I was surprised to hear he said like, "Oh, I got finals." And I'm like, "Oh my god!"
I can't believe he's a high school student.
I mean, we know we're Denji's like 16, but most normal people, you wouldn't think they'd be high school students doing
Yeah,
this.
he pretty much immediately admits, he's like, this is weird that Makino hired me because by my own admission, I'm second rate. It's like, why are you not getting the best in the country? So
I don't think they
I'm
trust
very-
each other, honestly.
she's playing everybody, and we don't even know to what level she's playing with everybody, which is just so amazingly infuriating, like in the best of ways. I cannot predict her.
You know,
Everything
I do
makes sense, and I can't predict it.
wonder. You know, I do wonder though. I've had a thought for the past few, like I've been thinking about the chapters and everything, and it makes me wonder. Like we had the primal devils, right?
Yeah.
We've seen one of them, and we know we don't know how many there are. There's just the one right now that we've seen.
Yeah, we've seen darkness, and we know there's hell.
With control, though, would that be a primal one? Or do you think that'd
I
be
would
built
say
in?
it's not because it was weaker than a primal. Like
But
she
she
was
stood up
losing.
enough to be able to do something, so it makes me wonder. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, she was able to hold him off long enough to be able to make a contract with the Hell Devil to get out using a corpse.
Mm.
but that's as far as she could really make it against a primal. That makes her insanely strong because we're like, the gun devil doesn't make a blip on that thing's radar, which is why there's no reason she lost.
One of my favorite lines in that whole thing was just like when I can't remember the one's name, but one of the Quan Chi's fiends is like we have the primal devils here. They're not like some gun devil doesn't compare to them.
Yeah.
This thing is a monster, and it doesn't even compare to this one.
Like these ones actively don't care about anything like the gun devil. They've never died before because they're too strong to die.
Mm. It's crazy. And then like the poor girl's like, can I just kill myself? Like just straight up, just I want to die. Get me out of here.
Halloween. Halloween.
That was insane. I do wonder that. No, that
I'm
wasn't
gonna
her.
miss Halloween.
Oh,
Halloween. 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 Halloween?
yeah, but just I mean, the gun devil was at 20%, which means he's 80% weaker than he's supposed to be. And
To be
they
honest, we don't
still.
even know if 20% of his body even matters.
What do you mean?
Like, you don't get a piece of cone whenever you use him. They
Oh yeah,
contracted the gun devil. We don't even know if how much percentage of the body they have even matters towards its abilities. The only thing we know is that the amount of time that the president offered it, that matters. We don't know what else does.
yeah, because he made the specific thing of offering it about like 300 million years at that
Yeah,
point.
it was 1 year from every American.
Yeah, so it's like he offered it a crap ton of
To do
time.
something to Machina, which, yeah, it's doing this. That's going to be an insane amount of power you can ask from it. It's like, does this get close to her? Probably not. Which is
Well,
what makes it even more weird that she's calling and saying, I lost. But she sounds so calm.
I
Like, there's
mean,
no, like, with the way we've gotten the speech, it doesn't look panicked. Like, we're not getting a lot of exclamation marks. We're not getting a lot of, like, random phrasing and stuff out of somebody who's panicking. This seems
yeah.
like she walked up to the phone and is just casually talking into it.
Mhm. Which I mean, she could heal, so like we wouldn't see any injuries on her. But like to either win or lose against this thing,
Yeah, and this doesn't sound
and
like,
it's
oh, I'm completely, like, this got completely out of my depth. This sounds like this is still within the parameters of what I have set.
yeah, like I handled it, and I'm just walking into my office, make a phone call.
I'm doing the second phase of what I had planned, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I do wonder though, like I think the percentage would matter though, because I don't. Would they ever bother giving a percentage amount if the
Yeah,
power
they
didn't matter?
explained why, even, because that's why they kept letting guns on the black market and everything.
Mhm.
Because every time the fear of guns go up, the power of this goes up.
Oh
Using the
yeah,
power of
yeah.
this to give to devilmen you control or fiends that you control makes you more powerful, which makes you more powerful in negotiation against other countries.
Okay, so yeah, the more they have, I was
The
just
more
trying
they
to think.
have, the more powerful the country. Yeah.
Hmm. Which is funny because they has 20%, the second highest percent out of all of them. Funny
Yeah.
enough, Russia has that 28%. That's amusing. But it's like, oh, there's so much to go through with this. But it's like at the same time, it's like we've covered it. But it feels like there's
We
so much
covered
more
the
to.
level we can cover, which is crazy. That this is us just flat admitting. I can't tell you what's going to happen. I can tell you that Denji's going to fight the gun fiend. I
Which
can't tell you anything past that.
I wonder how that'll even go. I mean, he blew up their apartment without even trying. And it's like,
We're going to get something from Puccina now. He opened the door he wasn't supposed to open.
mm,
That means that he's going like, even if this is the physical door, that means the mental door is about to open. He's about to do something that Puccina didn't want him to do. Like, it's something that Puccina was trying to keep from it, it seems.
Be interested to see what that is. Because it's like, I could think it would be something along these. Well, I do
I
wonder
think
because
that this is going to be the end of like Denji being relatively innocent. Which is weird to say about a psychopath.
who kills people for fun?
But
Like
like Denji won't have like just the slow day of like the theater episode or even like recently with the power thing. I don't think we're gonna get something that's low and slow for a while again.
it's going to be like just an
It's gonna be like
onslaught of stuff.
spongy. Like he's going to be like completely either like she seems like she's been so consumed by everything that she's seen that she's getting away with any small pleasure she gets, which is why she collects all those beans.
And then we got that information.
Yeah.
But it's like, I was wondering because it's like, we've seen that door early on. I can't remember how early we saw it, but we've seen it since early on, and he didn't want it opened back then. So it's like, what kind of thing could he be hiding behind that door?
Yeah, we keep hearing more stuff about the Chainsaw Devil and about how other devils are afraid of the Chainsaw Devil and how strong it used to be and all the things it used to do. And it's like Denji's unaware of this. Denji didn't do this. This was something before Denji.
Which is probably just Puccina just powered up.
Yeah,
I'd
it could have
imagine.
been Puccina alone. It could have been Puccina and another, in like a fiend. It could have been Puccina as a different devil man. We just don't know.
I've heard there's a theory that I saw that like the Chainsaw Man is kind of like the executioner. Like he's right under the primals.
Yeah,
Just keeps everybody in line kind of thing.
maybe. I still
don't know.
think that whole whatever the sound of his engine ties to the fear. Like I really think it has close ties to it, which is honestly a similar reason on why I think the Gun Devil is so powerful. Is it's tied to some kind of fear, and I don't think it's tied as closely as the chainsaw is. And obviously, there's a lack of Halloween.
Oh,
All right, I guess time to move on to Dr. Stone, number 157.
Dr. Stone was interesting this week. I liked it. Out of the three, it was like, it's not bad.
It was never going to be bad. But like we got through saying last week, it's Chainsaw Man was the level of hype. Then it was this for Black Clover. Then everything else was kind of around here.
Yeah.
Like it's not on the bottom. It's still pretty good. It's just not this.
It's like our weekly expectations were too high for other things.
Yeah, the other two were blowing it out of the water, which Dr. Stone's blown us out of the water before. But this week, it's more information. We get basically what happened when they woke up, and we get to see everybody who heard that you need to stay awake, stayed awake. So a lot of powerful people we haven't seen do anything yet. We get to find out Stanley is actually Zeno's childhood friend, which that was never made completely clear before. It's just this is just clearing things up. And then as soon as that one guy woke up, he spit out the ring, and Zeno picked it up, and he's like, "Platinum."
You were right. It was platinum.
Yeah, I thought it had to be something like that because Zeno had built that giant factory.
Which we see how that was done.
Yeah, he was using it to make nitric acid, but not for the same reason as Senku, who's like, because Senku's all about the advancement of humanity. He was like, this is one of the main ingredients of gunpowder.
He's like, I'm going to kill people.
He's like, if we just make a factory using this one small ring of platinum, this will get us past everybody who's just relying on physical force. Because guns trump every form of physical force. A sword doesn't. A spear doesn't. Like, you can use technique to even out the playing field. But a gun is the great equalizer amongst everything. Like, it doesn't matter how physically scrawny you are if you know how to shoot a gun.
It's like you'll pretty much win if you aim right. So it's like it works.
And then they further explained that basically everything we've been talking about so far is like they just go straight into Senku did everything for the sake of bringing back humanity and a way of helping them, and Zeno has only been bringing back science as a way to kill people.
Mm-hmm. Just be the dominant guy in the world.
And then we get to find out Luna is just sitting over there like, Senku's hot, but I only like smart dudes. Why do I like Senku?
Because she still thinks about Dr. Taiju, which that was amusing with her little friend. Say Senku.
Yeah, her whole thing of trying to rat out on Taiju. Because Taiju's on the thing, and she's like, all I have to do is just turn my finger towards him, and then she just like sticks it in her nose because she's like, I can't do it. And she's like, she tries to do it the other way, and then she just hears more about their plan of what they're going to do with the Medusa, which is the whole even though this thing doesn't work, Zeno's going to understand that this thing is the greatest weapon amongst all of them, and if Senku can figure out how to use this first, he wins. So Zeno has more defensive playing than he initially realized. But during all this, what his name? The captain, I can't think of his name at the moment. He's my favorite character. I can't think of his name. Ryukin?
That sounds right. But anyway, I'm not sure either.
He notices that because whenever she fails the second time and she sticks both her fingers in her nose, that was funny. She's like, this is Zeno's friend Senku, as she starts mouthing it over towards Stanley. And he notices that like immediately, because of course he does. He never misses anything. Like, I've never seen somebody who's such a conditional winner in all my life.
He's just like, gotcha, dog. Like, you're mouthing words from all that ways away. It's like, I got you.
But we see that, and then we get something I was expecting more of Chrome to figure out than Zeno to have already implemented. But it makes perfect sense that he would do it, because we've already seen all the advanced radio equipment he has. But they are encrypt a message back that they were able to pick up with radio waves. They can't hear it because it is encrypted, and they need to have something to analyze that.
Yeah.
But here's that happens directly after she mounts something over there. So they immediately find out there's a sniper. That's the only way that works. And then Stanley is about to kill Taiju because he just guessed the right one to be Taiju. And then he immediately gets called by Zeno after Zeno hears the encryption. He's like, stop. Taiju's just a diversion. It is definitely Senku. And then Stanley like has a panic attack. I don't know what Stanley knows. I mean, it wouldn't be weird for like Zeno to tell him. It wouldn't have been weird for Zeno to tell him because they were in this. Stanley was picked as his security guard whenever they went over to that park. He obviously would have known something, and Senku was the biggest contributor to that. So it's not weird, but it's weird his level reaction.
I'm not sure what that was about either. It's like,
but Senku's now, they have an identity on basically the biggest trump cards that Zeno has, which was the spy plane, which they pretty much, we can guess that they don't have another one of those. They might have another plane. We know they have another plane, but they don't have another plane that would work as a spy plane. They know about the sniper. They know about their advanced radio now. They know about their encryption. And that's basically all the major keys. What they don't know, and vice versa, is about the Medusa, and they don't know about anything that Senku's really made, besides the Perseus.
Which is a ship, which they are making into, aren't they making it into an aircraft?
Make it into an aircraft carrier, yeah, which they're just going to add planks basically onto it so that it has more surface area to land and take off from. It's gonna
Yeah,
sound. It sounds way more complicated than it's actually going to be. I imagine.
the
Because
way
like
they drew it,
you
I thought,
imagine aircraft carrier, you imagine this giant ship, and they're like, we're going to just convert the Perseus into one. It's
mm.
like, yeah, this is gonna be ghetto, like every other time you just convert things.
Yeah, but then this chapter didn't last long really either. A lot of it was spent on Luna getting the message over to
Yeah, her having this
Stanley,
whole problem of because
which
she
was
knows
really
that second
funny.
that she points somebody out, they're dead.
Mhm.
And that's a really hard concept for somebody like her to get over because she's not a cold-blooded murderer. She's not a spy. She just thinks of herself as capable.
It's like I just want to help or be useful. But then it's like we get that, and then they find out about the sniper, and then Zeno calls them and says that it's Senko, and the chapter ends pretty much there.
Really, what I'm expecting for next chapter,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not a big hard stretch to get to. I'm expecting we're cutting over to Chrome.
Oh
It's
yeah,
been a while since we've seen anything with Chrome and Kohaku. And this would be the perfect place to keep it because it looks like both are in checkmate.
it's funny because I was thinking it's like I was gonna say that in a way I've gotten a feel for when stuff is gonna cut. You know, after
Yeah.
years of Naruto, One Piece, all these
After
different series.
years and years of long-standing freaking shonen manga following, we've got a good feeling for whenever it's like, and view shift.
Which is funny because like I was about to say that and then I thought about Chainsaw Man. I legitimately
We could
did
not
not.
call this. There was no way to call this really because he gave us information, which was the way he hid information.
Mm,
It's like we know, like
it's
one
like,
second ago we saw Aki's body,
mm,
and then suddenly there's a knock on the door, and we hear the don't open the door.
mm.
And how were we going to know that in 1 second he got all the way over to Denji's apartment and he took over Aki?
Mm.
Like there was no way to know.
Oh, I wanted to. I know we're on Dr. Stone, but I did hear a theory about Chainsaw Man that Aki's gonna get enough like willpower left to kill himself, and that's how we're gonna do that. I hope it doesn't,
Well, based
because
off
I
of
wouldn't.
everything we were hearing from Riza, she was allied with the bomb. I mean, she was the bomb girl, and she was allied to the Gun Devil.
Mhm.
She was acting like it was a better alternative to anything with Machina.
Like every,
Like the
like
Gun
even
Devil is
Santa
apparently
Claus.
very reasonable. Like every other country is like Machino is the real enemy to everyone ever. The
Even
Gun Devil
Santa
is not
Claus.
that bad in comparison.
It's like I like the idea that he just kind of talks. You know, it's like I made a deal with the Gun Devil. It's like, can you imagine going up to that thing, just shaking its hand, being like, "Okay, I'll do this."
Here's my thing.
Like it's so
What if the
weird.
Gun Devil, whenever he went on that rampage years ago,
Hmm.
what if it was to try to stop Machino before?
That could be it
It's like
because he did the
we
same
know he
thing.
went on a massive rampage, but we also know everyone is more terrified of her.
Hmm.
And it does not like her. Because we couldn't infer that just from Riza and the Typhoon Devil.
Hmm. They were working strictly to beat her.
For the Gun
So,
Devil. Yeah.
mhm. Which I do wonder though, like, how did he get knocked out for 13 years? Right?
And then we find out, really, it's not that he's knocked out. It's he's separated, so he can't act on his own volition. But I think the contract lets him.
Mm.
It's
Like
like
the
Cone's body, for which is the Fox Devil, he's
Mhm.
kept in a room below the headquarters. Same thing with the Future Devil. His actual body is locked inside the headquarters.
Yeah,
But
but
they
you can
can just,
still use them.
yeah, they can still contract out, and you can use massive amounts of their power depending on the level of contract you have.
Mhm. Which I love that Aki just got the ultimate cheat. I mean, like, he's gonna die horrifically, which he kind of did.
He had
I
less than 2 years, and he died in the worst way possible. He said, "Your death's going to be gruesome and terrifying." It
Mhm.
happened. That it was gruesome and terrifying.
Oh my gosh, that was
So they were
insane.
right. He had less than 2 years to live. But here's the weird thing I want to know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This goes for both Power and for Aki.
Yeah.
Denji's a corpse that's now a devil man.
Mm-hmm.
Fiends are corpses taken over by devils.
Yeah, like
If you make
Power's a dead person.
if you make a contract with the corpse,
Mm-hmm.
you become a devil man? Because Aki's relatively conscious. We could say the same about Power. We could just say this is Power's personality.
Mm-hmm.
If they
Like,
made a
it's not even-
contract, they're not vulnerable anymore. They're vulnerable in a different way. They're vulnerable to the terms and conditions of the contract.
Mm-hmm.
But if the Gun Devil makes a contract with Aki, Aki's died. But now he's immortal. With no repercussions, he's like Denji.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Which
same
would
thing would be
make
true for
sense.
Power. They would both die, and it would be because of Denji, but they could come back.
Huh.
This is the only kind of theory that's been kind of stirring around with me all day, because that's the only thing I can possibly think of that I can maybe make a prediction on.
Mm.
Because we know that it's entirely possible to make a contract with a corpse. Kind of. We don't know how dead Denji was.
I mean, he
was
got
his
hacked into pieces.
Yeah, but was his brain dead? Is the question. It's like, what is the limit on it?
Mm.
Like, obviously, you get hacked up, your hands are dead, legs are dead, chest is dead. But if your brain's dead, you're fine. But he crawled in the chest. So did that even matter? Like, can you just make a contract with a corpse? And if you can, why isn't that more seen?
You know, I've been wondering that since they did that. It's like ever since that point where we got introduced to more people, I'm like, why are there not more like devil? Like, just walk up to a dead person and be like, I want this body.
Yeah,
right?
And yeah, we can see that fiends are weaker than devils, so that's a problem there.
Mm-hmm.
But devil men seem stronger than devils and demons. Like devils and fiends.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't have the weakness of a fiend and dying easily. You don't have the weakness of a devil and risking your own physical body.
Mm-hmm.
If you die, you're not going back to hell. You're there.
Mm-hmm.
Until the terms of your contract go away.
Which could make you pretty much... It's like Pochita's got the
look
most...
at Denji. He just has to keep giving experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everything's an experience. He's kind of immortal.
So he could take all the...
And it really depends on what the devil wants.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I doubt Aki would be as powerful if he came back as devil man.
Mm-hmm.
Because I doubt the gun devil is going to be that, like, I don't know, sentimental. Is that
because Denji and
Puccina had like years of being together.
Yeah,
and
they actually liked each other.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Because Denji had taken care of Puccina for years. We aren't even sure, like, to what levels, like, the stuff they went through. We knew every time that he got hurt, Denji would give him blood.
Mm.
He would share the only food he ever got. He'd share the drippy shed made out of crap he just found.
And then there was that whole thing with, like, where he thought... I still don't understand. I guess Pochita was just, like, sleeping somewhere. But Denji woke up and Pochita wasn't there, so we went out looking for him all day. And then came back and Pochita was crying in the shed. So it's like, I guess he was just sleeping somewhere and Denji missed him.
Yeah, but they are very codependent, or they were. And they cared a lot about each other. And then we're not going to get anything like that with the Gun Devil. Mm-hmm. If anything, Aki hates him.
I mean, he made it his life's mission to kill this thing.
But if he finds out that it's all because of Makino, I can see them coming together.
Like, just making... It's like, I hate her, and I now hate her. Let's work together to beat her, kind of thing.
It might be the contract is until Makino's dead.
So he would end up dying anyway.
Yeah.
But at least he would
he would get what he wanted,
Mm.
which is revenge for his family. Like, that's the only reason he's been living anyways.
You know, I thought of something. We've never seen. Have we seen Machina control devils, like straight devils?
Yeah,
We have.
yeah.
Do you think she
Friend,
controlled what?
friend, the spider devil.
Oh, I thought she was a fiend.
I think she was a spider devil.
Ah, yeah, yeah, she was. Yeah, she was. I kind of wish there was like a
Yeah,
little
because that was
thing.
the angel fiend, and
Or no, that
then
was the angel devil, wasn't it?
was that devil or fiend? I wasn't sure on that one.
I
Thought it
thought
was
it
a
was
fiend.
angel. I think it's angel devil because I thought that was amusing. It's like
Yeah,
what a thing there. And then because I was just trying to think, what if like Machina is the control devil? What if she took over the gun devil and made him do that back in the day? Like, why would he do that?
true.
That
Like,
might
there's
be.
all kinds of things. Like, it's because we have so little information on Makino. It is so hard to just make a prediction about any of these. Like
It's like there's
Doctor
so.
Stone, I have no problem making prediction. We're cutting away to Chrome more than likely.
Mhm,
As for what's about to happen, Stanley's probably going to be called off the tree
mhm.
in order to do a different sort of plan. And probably Zeno has something. Now that he knows that it is actually Senku, he's
Mhm.
probably going to want Senku.
Yeah, so
Not
they'll
want to
probably
kill, he's going to want to keep because he's
mhm.
aware of how smart Senku is.
So there probably a big negotiation
Yeah,
kind of set up for the.
there's going to be something more aligned along the lines of them actually drawing the lines on this.
Mhm,
Meanwhile, we have the whole thing with Geen. Geen's going to need to find a way to get out, and then
mhm,
I think Chrome and Kohaku are going to be his ticket out.
mhm.
So that's why I think it's more likely that we're going to cut to Chrome. Chrome's going to have one of his brain blast moments. Is it not? Is that not what they are?
That's what it feels like. I think about that.
Blast.
Oh man, Jimmy Neutron was too good for us
Yeah.
at this point. And then like with
It was
Black
no Rick and
Clover,
Morty, but
you have to have a high IQ. I still think about that. Like, I think it was just for like internet points or
it
like
was. That
publicity, but
whole, like, it was just a shit
screeching
post
at the
on the internet. Yeah.
McDonald's.
Oh, that guy? That was staged.
Oh,
Like,
really?
he was a YouTuber.
Oh my gosh. Wow. I can't imagine having like
Yeah, he
any
got
kind.
permission from the McDonald's and everything to do it.
Oh, wow. Huh.
Go Brick!
He just starts screeching with his shirt.
But as for next week, there's not a single series on this list that's being going on break. There's nothing that we follow really that's going on break.
And then next week, One Piece
To be
and
honest,
Hero
I can't
Academy will
remember
be back.
Jujutsu no Kaisen's newest chapter. I don't like. I can't remember if it's on break, and I don't think it's
It's
caught up
not.
yet.
I am not.
Yeah,
I'm nowhere close. Honestly, I'm on
it
like
took you a while
chapter.
to get caught up on Chainsaw Man, so it's fine.
I'm just honestly like I've been like into other things so much, and then I don't mean to badmouth Jujutsu Kaisen, but it's like
Like I
I'm
said,
not
I've told
like.
I will adamantly admit this. Everybody can roast me if they want to. Jujutsu no Kaisen is probably the weakest on the list that we're following.
Hmm.
It's not bad. It's not bad in the slightest. It is very average.
It's like we have our set in stone One Piece and Hero Academy. Doctor Stone's great. Chainsaw Man, oh boy, and then you got Jujutsu Kaisen just kind of bringing up the rear there. I don't mean to badmouth anybody on that,
It is
but
a good. I will go down now. It is a good series. I
mm,
actively like it. There's a reason I'm still keeping up with it, although I mostly read it by arc. Like
mm,
I'll usually wait for the arc to get caught up. Recently, I've been like, why not just keep up with it?
yeah,
Because I was like, you'll eventually get caught up on it. It could be something we could talk about here.
Mm.
Especially since I think more people are about to want to get caught up with it because the anime is coming out. It's
That's part of the reason I wanted to, is because that anime trailer looked sweet. So
I
I kind of want to
so
get
want a
caught up.
Chainsaw Man anime. I so want it.
I want it so bad, but I'm so scared they're gonna ruin it.
I want Gynax to do it for whatever reason. I just keep thinking like Gynax or Madhouse.
Honestly, that's the best studio, I think, because Bones, I feel like they're great, but I don't think they could do it.
They can't get that dark. Like whenever I think like Chainsaw Man's level of dark, I think like we're basically going to like Black Lagoon kind of darkness,
Mhm.
which is it's not. What is my what am I trying to say? It's not like we're ripping things apart for the shock value all the time. Like
But there is constant violence.
there's constant violence, there's constant sex, there's constant. Oh my god, it's just crazy what all's going on, and it's like that. That was the same with Black Lagoon. Even if it wasn't happening in the foreground, it was happening in the background.
Mhm. And then on top of that, we need that good art. Please. Like, I can only imagine the Gun Devil entrance.
I
Like,
mean I
it's
love
gonna.
the basically the polar opposite whenever it comes to Denji. He is
Mhm.
drawn like crap, and it's like it looks. No, it's on purpose though.
I know, it's just amusing. It's just like flat out.
Like you'll look at even other characters. Like Power's drawn better than Denji 90% of the time,
Mhm.
but Denji gets this amazing art quality whenever he switches to the Chainsaw Man. It's
It's
just
like,
normal Denji. For some whatever reason, the author just decided, let's make Denji look terrible normally.
which is funny because like there was a really good it was it was in the Gun Devil chapter. I bring this chapter up a lot. I don't mean it for any particular reason, but it had the regular Denji art. He was talking to Makino
Yeah,
because he had just felt up power and had his little crisis.
yeah,
I love that whole thing. But he goes to talk to Makino about it, and then she says, "I'll grant you one wish if you kill the Gun Devil." And it's like it has the regular art, and then when she asked him if,
yeah.
and
It
then
does
when she
that
said,
switch over so that you can see like a more portrait style because it's a
"Mhm,"
double page spread for that. And yeah, he
and the
looks
art
good.
is great.
Like
And
that.
he does not look bad at all. It's just like I think it's a stylistic choice for whatever
It,
reason.
I think I think it's a combination of a stylistic choice to make this huge contrast with his character.
Mm.
But another thing I think it is like if you look at Denji, he looks a lot like Bakugo. And how do you make sure that you do not confuse these two?
Make one look.
Denji looks like crap. Denji looks like crap on purpose.
I would say it's like if you got into some weird, like I took an English course in college kind of thing, it
Yeah.
could be like he looks different because he doesn't fit in with everybody. But then, like, you could say that about like five different characters
Yeah,
that all look better.
the way I'll put it is this: there's no, it's definitely not because the author's lazy. If that was
No.
what was happening, then the Devils wouldn't look so good. The Devilmen wouldn't look so good.
Mhm.
Like we wouldn't get things like the Bomb Girl reveal chapter, or whenever she has that amazing thing where she's ripping apart that other Devil Hunter squad.
Mhm.
And you get the cool things with like Cone attacking her jumping over, and the art stays good the entire fight.
Mhm. And then you get that amazing shot where they're going down the road in the car, and she just pops up in front of them holding the heads. I was
Yeah.
like, this is great.
We get all this amazing art, and then on purpose, it's like, we get Aki, who always looks like blank. It's because he's emotionless. We get
Mhm.
um, Denji, who just looks completely unfinished.
Well, he doesn't always look
And
bad.
he doesn't have a purpose either. So that makes a lot of sense on why he is unfinished.
I was saying because it's like I remember that he doesn't always look bad though. Because I mean, like besides the really good art,
A
different
lot of
pages,
times, whenever
it's like.
like Makino's around, his art quality gets better.
Mhm. But I was just thinking that one with like power when they're
Yeah,
trying to be
anything that he
smart.
has like a purpose or direction in, he has better art. But
Mm.
if it's in regular, just everyday occurrences, his art goes to crap. And there's one thing that once you notice it, it's amazing.
Mhm.
But
Oh, I wanted to tell you, the girl that Aki liked that we couldn't remember her name. It's Himeno,
okay.
and then the other one is Kabini, I think, or
Kabini, yeah, the
Kabini.
one that like the ninja girl.
I
I'm
read so
still
many
waiting for her
different.
to come in.
I wanted to so bad. It's like I read so many things, I get the names mixed up. So sometimes even after reading the whole thing, I'm
Yeah,
like, I can't remember this person's name.
this is just what we're following for the Weekly Shonen Jump. This doesn't even include the other weekly and monthly series we're following, and anime, and the old backlogs, and everything else. So,
Man,
if we're mispronouncing names, we apologize in advance. It will happen again.
it's like every time we've had this conversation before, but we keep saying Jujutsu no Kaisen every time we say
Oh
it.
my god, I forget that I do that. Jujutsu Kaisen. Yeah.
I'm having to force myself not to say that no part.
I need to fix that. Oh my god. Seven Deadly Sins did it to me, and I know it did it to me, and I don't know why it did it to me.
What's funny is like, why did we even call it Nanatsu? What was it? Nanatsu no Taizai? Why
Yeah,
did we even call it that? Like,
because that's if you ever went looking for it anywhere for the chapters, because
oh yeah, you had to type that in because it would come up with
it's
like
one of the
the.
reasons why I actually actively like the app, and we're not sponsored by the app, but I actively like the Weekly Shonen Jump app because it is impossible to track some of these down.
Mhm.
Like the the app has only been good for me because okay, they now actively know what chapters we like and dislike, so we're not getting lose things that are actually good anymore.
Mhm.
And also, I don't have to spend forever tracking down a translation that isn't a translation of a translation of a translation.
Oh, and
I'm
also
looking
the
at you, Keith.
scans are quality. Like sometimes you'll find a scan and it's like this looks horrible.
Oh yeah, it looks like it was printed on a freaking toilet paper. I've seen those.
They did that with JoJo Part 5. I couldn't stand waiting for the cliffhangers anymore in Part 4, so I finished reading it and went to Part 5, and it's notorious for having awful scans
Isn't a
online
lot of
for some.
JoJo stuff on the Shonen Jump app now though?
They have they have parts 1 through 4, but 4
So
is
they only
not
have
done.
stuff that they released Joliens for then.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
The
They don't
Joliens.
have
Is that what they're called?
what?
Is that what they're called? Joliens?
Jojoniums.
Jojoniums, okay.
Yeah. I cannot wait for the part 6. Well, mainly part 6, honestly, because I read it in black and white just because I like seeing how it was originally intended to be shown. Because there's a lot of JoJo color fan projects where
Yeah,
fans
they're
go through
trippy.
which they look
I've
really
seen like
good.
images out of place where they're like, it's not bad. It's just
Mhm.
it looks like something you'd see if you were tripping on acid. Man,
Oh,
I need to just get over everything. My problems with JoJo and get past part 3.
honestly, you're so close to finishing part 3, and you
I
don't.
this is my third time trying to get through part 3. I
They
know
all get.
I just made every JoJo fan mad, but he loves JoJo, so that should make up with it.
Oh, I'll sing its praises all day.
I
I'll
think
give
he
you a
will
10 out
buy
of
the JoJo suits that freaking Sea Dog had.
But they have JoJo suits.
Have you not seen that JoJo merch video that Sea Dog VA did?
No.
There's this brand, I think it's called Glamour, over in
Mhm.
Japan. They make officially licensed JoJo merchandise, including like suits, ties, tie pins,
Oh,
t-shirts, bomber jackets, regular jackets.
oh my god.
Yeah, they're a little expensive because it's a designer clothes brand.
Oh, oh,
I said a little expensive. It's I think $100 for the bomber jackets.
oh my. Actually, that's not bad for a bomber jacket, I would say.
Yeah, they're
I
really
imagine.
nice, high quality jackets.
Mm.
Like you're not gonna buy another one. Like
Hmm. I don't even have one, but I've been watching Doom Patrol and it made me want one. Watch. By the way, I know that's not related to any of this, but that's a really good show. It's a really good show. But yeah.
Yeah, no breaks next week. We're gonna try to make sure that we keep tangents to a minimum because next week's gonna be the first time we're gonna be talking about so many series all at once.
I think what is it? We got One Piece, Hero Academy, Doctor
Yeah,
Stone, Chainsaw Man,
Black Clover.
Black Clover. So that's 5
Yeah,
there. So that'll be a long one.
yeah.
So we'll have to keep the tangents to a minimum to keep it under
Like
2 hours
even on the
long.
ones where we're like, there's only 4. We're on tangents for like an hour and a half. So that and One Piece is gonna be packed. My Hero Academia is going to be. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be packed, but there's gonna be a lot of stuff to talk about.
Mhm.
Doctor Stone, I'm saying that's gonna be one. Chainsaw Man's gonna be outrageous. Again, it's like again hype levels for the next chapters. It's going to be Chainsaw Man, Black Clover, One Piece, My Hero Academia, Doctor Stone, and then
And
probably Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't want to be mean. It's just it is like if we add it to this, that's where it goes.
I do really like this style though. Like Gojo, Satoru is one of my favorite mentor characters
Yeah,
I've seen in a while. So he's fun. And then I like the attitude of it. Like spoilers for this, early spoilers anyway, but the main character comes back from the dead. And the
it
teacher's just
reminds
like,
me of like a polished, like revamped Yu Yu Hakusho in a weird way.
I keep thinking that. That's what, oh my God.
It's like the
I've been
art is
thinking,
nothing like it, but at the same time, the story is like very much Yu Yu Hakusho.
except we don't have strict tournament arcs, at
Yeah,
least
and
where I'm.
it does take a lot of its own like stylistic choices out directly away from that. Not going to spoil anything for you because I know you're only like halfway into it.
I'm not
But
even halfway. I'm on like chapter 16.
oh, I thought you were like 50. My bad.
No, I'm sorry. It's fine. You can talk about it. I don't care about spoilers.
I'm not going to spoil it for you because I'd rather us talk about the chapter whenever it comes out. But
Oh,
it will get better and it will start getting a lot more distinct. Because in the
mm.
beginning, it just feels like Yu Yu Hakusho.
It's funny because
And
I
it
keep getting
keeps a
Blue
lot of those
Exorcist
vibes,
vibes
which is a
too.
good idea. Like,
Mm.
like you're you're doing the whole same kind of story. Like you don't have to be a carbon copy, which it's not,
Mm.
but you can take a lot of inspiration, and I will not fault you. It's kind of like Bleach was not. Oh my god, I'm gonna attack Bleach again. I'm sorry, normal punching bag. I always go for it, but Bleach was
Poor
not the
thing.
first supernatural battle of shonen,
Mm.
but it deviated pretty well.
It had awesome ideas.
I never realized a single one.
Like I love the different styles. It's like the Ironclar or
I
Spanish.
loved every single idea with that, and like his whole the way he went into symbology and religion with every single one. I
Mm.
just wish he'd finish a single power ever. It's
I
like,
was
oh,
thinking
we're
about
gonna
it.
use a different type of power for Ichigo. He's gonna use the same move, but it's gonna be derived of a different power, and we're not gonna finish realizing it ever.
I was thinking about it. Why did we end on the Quincy's? Like, I'm not upset, but why did we end on Quincy's?
Where else would you go? To be honest,
I mean, why did they end on them? Like, of all of them, I wonder why he picked Quincy's for
they
last.
were the most opposite, really, of Shinigami.
Ah, yeah, that makes sense.
Shinigami don't kill spirits. Quincy's do. Shinigami can't really be killed by Hollow. They're tainted.
Mm.
Hollows are poisonous to Quincy's. It's like there's a lot of. They're basically the anti-versions of each other, so there was always a conflict. We always knew there was going to be some kind of conflict. We already knew there was a conflict beforehand, too, because Mayori is a disgusting creature. I
Oh,
love Mayori. Mayori's like my third favorite captain after Kenpachi.
But he's a freak.
That's why I like him. He's just such a creature. He's literally like a smart trash gremlin. It's great. And I think that's honestly the best way to end this one. Like the subscribe button, subscribe to the like button. Good day.